Hi, I'm Mike Duncan, founder and CEO at Bankjoy. Bankjoy is a modern digital banking solution for community-based FIs. We help them compete against the big banks and the fintechs. And I am honored to be sitting here next to Ray Lancaster. Ray Lancaster is the former CEO of Pyramid Credit Union. And Pyramid Credit Union is one of our customers, a longtime customer. And we're going to be talking about the top 5 trends that credit union and community-based FI CEOs need to know about. Hey, Ray. It's great to see you.
How are you doing?
Great. I'm so glad that you can come to our event here in Nashville.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
You've been a longtime client. You're retired now, and you were formerly CEO of Pyramid Credit Union. But I'm so glad that you still found the time to come and join us, even in your retirement.
Oh, thank you. You're very kind. And again, thank you for the invitation.
Love to talk to you about where things are trending with regard to credit unions and get your take and get your insights. And one of the things I've been thinking about a lot is just younger membership, right? So I talk to a lot of credit unions, and there's the trend has been that membership is on the older side, and roughly 54, 53 is sort of the average age that I'm seeing. And I'm curious about if you see any trends that may be reversing that, or any credit unions that you've come across that have found a way to kind of trend that towards the younger demographic, especially as those younger folks seem to be moving towards the chimes and the neobanks and fintechs.
Yes, that's been a little bit of a struggle because, for our credit union, younger is probably under 50, but for the viability and sustainability, we need the people of all generations to be a member, and they're looking for things from our website, through our online banking app, our core, that how can you serve me faster, better, quicker? How can you anticipate what I need? How can you help me financial wellness? Like, all of those things are so important tools that we don't want our younger members getting their information from Reddit or their friends who aren't doing it well, or a lot of times they don't get it from their parents, right? And so we want to be that trusted source.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense in terms of the approach and the tools. And how are you going about that? How are you going into your community and bringing those younger people to the credit union when you were at Pyramid?
Well, in Pyramid, and I'll always be part of Pyramid, but we serve predominantly low, moderate income members. And so more than 60% of our loans go to members who live in a low, moderate income area. And a lot of it has to do with generational things, and how can we capture the generations and have the parents who maybe they don't speak English, maybe they don't have a good understanding of money, maybe they didn't do a good job of learning that. How can we impart that to their kids and to their grandkids? And so we want to, encourage them, find a way to bring them to the credit union, find a way to help them. And a lot of that's got to be online. We had partnered with a company that provided online wellness and information and education, but it's time to go to 2.0, and so I'm really looking forward to the Joy Compass and everything that's going to bring.
Yeah. Joy Compass. Joy Compass is a product that we built that really truly ladders up to our mission. It's designed to help people understand their money better, help people navigate hardships and achieve their goals and their dreams. And it really the genesis of it was, how can we reconnect community-based FIs and credit unions back to their community roots and kind of surface the thing that made them so great in the branch into the digital space. And so obviously, you've got the younger generation. You've got I think I saw a study, about 9% of Generation Z are going into the branch, right? So they'd rather not go. They'd rather, download the app. And so everything's got to be there, right? How is Pyramid going out to reach those younger folks? So you have the tools, where do you go to actually find them and engage them and let them know that you offer these services?
Sure, it's a struggle because as a credit union, we've always wanted the members to come in so you'd have that personal one-on-one relationship. and now it's a digital channel relationship. We found that we've been able to sponsor or participate. Like in Tucson, we have something called Miracle in El Barrio. That is a Christmas. The kids line up and they get Christmas toys. And there's probably 10 or 15,000 toys that are given away. The lines start at before 6 a.m. and they're still there at afternoon. But the idea is to give them something for Christmas, a toy, a gift. And then we try and include some financial wellness, like a little piggy bank. Hey, save your coins, do something. And that's the way to reach the younger kids. And we want to make it exciting so they're not thinking, oh, I need to go to a credit union to do something. But we want to be able to, every time we see them, that they're thinking about, hey, somebody's giving me something, somebody's helping me, somebody wants me to save. Right? The older generations and people in their 20s and 30s, a lot of times they would love to be a part of a credit union if they knew what we do. And we don't do a good job of maybe telling that story. But when we get out and say, hey, do you know anything about us? Do you know what it is? And they know, and it's hard to tell your story because nobody's going to see it online. You've got to be there in person.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it seems like the right approach to go right into the community, into places where they are, and let them know you're here, because you're right. Before I started Bankjoy, I used to work at a credit union, and when I was looking for opportunities to work, I saw the credit union in the job ad, and I didn't know what a credit union was, right? And it wasn't until I read the job description and said, oh, it's a bank, right? And I think that's one of the biggest challenges the movement faces right now. Folks still don't know what a credit union is. They see the word credit union and they think, oh, is this a place where I work on my credit, or is this a union? Do I have to be part of a special organization to join? And there's a lot of sort of misunderstanding about what they do. Technology is advancing at this very fast pace, and we see, we talk about AI. AI is gaining so much steam, so much momentum right now. People are obviously using it day to day now with tools like ChatGPT, and credit unions are in this place now where they have to follow regulations. They have to be really careful with member data. What kinds of trends do you see around AI right now, and how is it being used? And where do you think it's going?
Well, since retiring, I've tried to study that more because I feel the AI is like eating an elephant, and you have to do that one bite at a time. And there's so much potential for improving and efficiencies that can come from using it, and the knowledge, and the AI can provide an answer faster than any of us can think of something, and better, for the most part. But we have to train it, we have to learn it. I'm not certain, like credit unions our size at 250 million, I'm not certain that we can do a good job on our own. And I think finding a collaboration or working with other credit unions or other trade groups, vendors that can help bridge that gap, because it's hard for us to hire somebody and say, oh, go do AI stuff, right? And we don't even know what the AI stuff involves or entails. And so I loved hearing some of the people talk about having good policies. A lot of the vendors say they use AI, but really it's more of a facade, not an actual deep understanding and learning from it. And I feel that we can't ignore it, and we've got to dip our toes and start going. But if we ignore it, it's at our peril. We do use AI in our commercials and our marketing, image productions, voiceovers. All of that is AI generated. And I've got to say, it's much easier to get a better product than it was when you had to do a voiceover and do 20 different takes because you coughed or sneezed or there was a mispronunciation. And so we are trying to dip our toes and go a little deeper, but it'll be a challenge.
Yeah, AI is really broad, right?
We can't
And,
ignore it. Yeah.
can't ignore it. It's really broad. There's lots of different use cases for AI right now. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people are using, taking the LLM approach and using AI to get answers very quickly using ChatGPT and similar tools. But then you've got practical examples that are already being used within credit unions. You have, for example, we have a product called FraudSense, and we built FraudSense because we realized that credit unions were losing money and they were losing time investigating fraud situations. And by the time that the fraud tools of today, of yesterday, caught the fraud, the money was gone.
It's out the door.
It's out the door. And you have to go spend more time investigating what's going on. And so, we built this tool because the current state of, machine learning and the data that we have, from all of our clients, and we put it all together and said, we can actually probably predict that something bad's about to happen, that someone is potentially at risk of losing funds because, this person isn't, we think this person isn't who they say they are. So we're going to verify their identity, right? So that's a practical application of AI and machine learning that Bankjoy is using today. And then you've got these emerging channels, right? So right now, people are using ChatGPT as a way to shortcut, producing all kinds of things, images, documents, speeches, scripts, right? Answering questions and getting instant answers to those questions. And, obviously the clear next step, that's what our young people are probably looking towards. And it won't be long before we see these tools emerge within the neobanks and the fintechs, and we'll have to quickly kind of adapt.
Sure.
And what's really interesting is, I don't think the regulators are ready.
No.
First they got to wrap their heads around this thing, and then they need to build out the framework to regulate it, right? So that's kind of where we are. But yeah, AI is moving so fast that, do you think we almost have to take a risk in applying it to a degree?
Yeah, I think that fraud is a perfect area where AI can make a difference. And, just things like the video impersonations, I've seen calls on Zoom where it's never been a real person. It's all been AI generated, and the conversation as well. And like internally, I told our executive team, I will never tell you to send money, wire money. I'll do it in person. And so, but if you get a call or a video, it's not going to be me because I will never do that. But that works for today, but I don't know that that'll work for tomorrow, and to be able to prevent fraud, I think it's just a great opportunity. Hey, this is normally out of band of what they normally transact or what they do. They've never sent a Zelle before and now they're trying to do 3 of them. Or just things like that just jump, if it was a Jack in the Box, it'd pop up right at us, say, oh, what's going on here? But, the monitoring 24/7 can do a much better job than we don't have people sitting there 24/7. And so the regulatory, I'll just touch upon that. Our regulatory environments, I don't want to say it's a nightmare, but there's a lot of disruption. The chairman of the NCOA's term expired August of 2025. The other 2 board members had been fired with a court case in November. Where's that going to go? Where's that going to end up? And I think from the regulatory side, I would just ignore all the noise and we got to step forward. But we want to have good policies to protect it. We want a good AI policy so that the employees know that we're not uploading member information, we're not putting things at risk, but at the same time we're able to capitalize on our answers for chat and say, hey, we can incorporate this. People are asking this, like we should be able to do the low-hanging fruit relatively easy, and the big stuff will follow. I know sometimes they say find a task that nobody likes to do and use AI for that. And I'm thinking, find something that you think you do well and use AI, and you'll find out how much better it is. Like maybe that'll get everybody more excited about it.
Yeah. And in terms of the regulators, to your point, I think there's going to be some level of collaboration there where the regulators, they won't be able to kind of get their arms around this tech as it's being rolled out. And, there's got to be collaboration where, vendors are going to come in that have the tech ready to go. They're going to plug it in. So, for example, you can have a chat interface that you can use to ask questions about your own finances, and it's plugged into your core, and it's plugged into your digital banking system and maybe your third-party systems, and that obviously exposes potential risk, but the regulators won't really fully understand exactly what to do about it just out of the gate. But at the same time, the credit unions can't afford to wait for the regulators to catch up, because all the other guys who are a little bit more, potentially more risk averse, more bleeding edge, are going to take the risk, and people are going to flock to them. They're already using these tools today. They obviously like those tools, right? So,
yeah, the big banks have hired hundreds of people to help them do this and to make it better, and to take the content and the questions and build it into their whole platform. And it just makes them much more efficient, and they're much better at communicating when somebody has a question. That if the credit unions wait, then they're going to be further behind, and we'll be adopting AI 2.0 when AI 3.0 or 4.0 is coming out, right? It's going to iterate faster, that it's going to be difficult to keep up.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be on AI 10 and
Yeah.
adopting version 3.
Yeah, it's going to put you a little behind the curve.
Exactly. What about payments? All right, so I'm hearing a lot about, there's obviously real-time payments, and this. But what I'm really interested in is how crypto, how blockchain is being used to facilitate faster payments, and just that entire scope of things, right? And it also applies to just wealth, right? So people are using crypto as a way to build wealth, right? And not necessarily as a way to transact or use it as a store of value that they can go buy things with, but they're investing money into it and hoping that it grows and grows and grows, just like a stock investment, right? How do you feel about crypto and sort of the trending, how that's trending today, and what do you think credit unions should be doing to meet members' expectations there?
Yeah, that's another area in the current regulatory environment that it's almost like the crypto world is just wide open for come one, come all. I will say the deposit tokenization is different with the blockchain, and transferring money and being able to follow through is totally different from the crypto world. And that a lot of us could go in through the deposit side and be fine and learn. The crypto side is a little more challenging, because we've all had members that have lost money, victimized by scams. We still think of that. There's so many coins out there that who knows what's going to be around, and the members, if we facilitate access, but it goes under or breaks the value or goes undervalue, or they lose money, like, we didn't encourage you to go buy that, but we'll get some share of the blame. And I think that, it's an education. We've got to start on the education of that. Here's what you can do. It's not speculative, although a lot of people use it for that, and it's not for scamming people. A lot of people use it for that, but it can be an alternate investment to help you grow. I was reading where Kevin Durant got locked out of his account, his crypto account, and his agent was like, "That's great," because they don't want people trading in and out. They want to, use it to grow your wealth. Yeah. And it's hard to say that that's not an option today, right? Because you have the stock market wealth, you have generational wealth, and for a lot of people, they don't have either one of those, and so they want to start out fractional and find a way to invest. And so a lot of education has to be done there.
Do you think credit unions should be investing in third parties that they can plug into, for example, digital banking, to allow people to transact or to invest in crypto?
I think that things like Bank Social has a good transfer over the wires and things that are the payment rails, I should say. I think that, again, dipping your toe into it, everybody seemed to be going into the crypto space 18 months ago, and then everything blew up and everybody backed out. And so I think that finding credit union partners who we know have our best interests at heart is going to be important there as well.
Yeah. Just switching gears a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
So there's a lot of debate, I'll say, online in the credit union movement and the community about whether or not credit unions should be pursuing more and more growth, or should they stay more niche and focus on more narrow segments of it's sort of the way they were born. When credit unions started, they really were focused on certain narrow niches, and over time, what we're seeing is credit unions combining and merging more and more to compete with the bigger FIs, and that definitely seems to be gaining some momentum. What's your take on that trend?
Well, I feel like the big credit union mergers are just to get scale. Like they want to try and be more efficient. They want to be much bigger. For us, our field of membership is Pima County. Mm-hmm. We don't need to save the state. We don't need to save the world or the country. We just are trying to help our community and provide a valuable service there. But I think you have to grow. If you slowly shrink away, eventually you're going to come to a tipping point.
So, love to know your perspective on, what the greatest threats to credit unions are today, and what should they be doing about them?
Well, the one that always kept me up as a CEO is security, mm-hmm. online security, data breaches, even data breaches that aren't even part of us, but they've come from a third party. A long time ago, we've had the Target, the Home Depots multiple times. That's always my biggest worry. Yes, we can reissue another debit card, but there's a lot of information stored everywhere that if it's unprotected, I worry about that, and our employees and our members who click on the wrong thing and put themselves at risk. Even one member being victimized by fraud, I feel like, how can I stop this? Don't give up your text pin. So
yeah, it's a great point. I mean, there are billions of records of data that is now out there, and fraudsters are using it all the time.
And the AI can impersonate you, and people think they were talking to you, and the phone calls of, "Hey, Grandma, I'm in jail. Can you send money?" Now becomes, well, they've got a kid's voice, and it sounds, like a child, and it's only going to get better.
It's another case for AI. It's AI versus AI. If they're using AI to try to trick us and trick the systems, then we got to use it to try to stay ahead and try to predict when something looks like it might be fraud. So that's exactly what we're trying to do at Bankjoy.
But Grandma will have a hard time, right, trying to figure out, and hopefully she doesn't push the button, or and well deserved. They're concerned about their relatives and things, and so that's a tough situation.
Yeah. This is a real problem. We were just having a discussion about how do we get people to pay attention to the message that we send on the codes we send. Do not share this with anyone. You put it right there, plain English, and people will still share it with other people. Ray, what's the one piece of advice for credit union CEOs as they start to plan and do the strategic planning for 2026? What should they be thinking about, and what should they be doing and getting ready for?
I don't know if I can do it in one, but I'll try and condense them. I think that you do need to grow, and you need to focus on growing members that will use your products and services. Just growing for the sake of a car loan or something may be okay, but I think in the long run, you want members to use your products and services. I think you want to use your data to be smarter about attracting them, and I think you want to take your data and make it more actionable, but you want to see your results faster. You can't wait till the end of the quarter and see how you do compared to the last call report. You can't wait till the end of the month and see how you did last month. Like, you need to know weekly or daily, even if you can, that what's going on at my credit union. Is money leaving, growing? Not to micromanage it, but just look for trends. If this trend continues, what will happen? If I'm not able to grow members, you look at the credit union space, there's 4,500 credit unions. If we lose 150 or 200 a year, how long before we lose half of them? You got to turn that trend around. You got to make it viable, and your credit union can be a difference maker, right? If you can use that data to make yourself grow, and just commit to doing something, right? Don't just sit back and take it. Go make a difference in your community. Go make a difference with your members. go make a difference with your employees. Just go do something, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we definitely need our credit unions to survive. They are cornerstones of our communities, and
Yes.
they provide a service that, I think we should all be fearful about what happens when they disappear, and people are left to the big banks and everyone else.
The world will go on, but our members will suffer some.
Ray, thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate
It's
it.
been great. Yeah, I love it.
It's we're here in Nashville for Elevate, and I really do appreciate you making the time to come here. And this conversation's been very helpful. I think a lot of credit unions will get a lot of value from this, and that's what we need. We need more of this information sharing, and you have so much experience and wisdom, and I really do appreciate this. Thank you.
Well, I think what's great about Elevate is the speakers have all been positive. They've been encouraging, and they're showing that you don't have to just sit back and have poor results. You can take relationships with Bankjoy and related vendors. You can go make a difference in your credit union and be successful. So thank you for having it. Yes.
Thank you.